In the last episode of Launch Title Madness, Gaming Off the Grid lost every subscriber that was a Star Wars fan or a Zelda fan, as Star Wars Rogue Leader took a loss to Luigi's Mansion, and Zelda Breath of the Wild lost to Super Mario World. In today's episode, we have a battle of PlayStation 2 launch titles as we see Tekken Tag take on the little snow-shredding, ass-kicking action in SSX. Always makes me think of sex for some reason, because I like snow, yeah. And then we also see the Super Nintendo futuristic racer F-Zero take on Xbox One's Forza. It's time to grab your tea and crumpets and get comfortable. It is time to sit back and relax if you can for this episode of Launch Title Madness.
Welcome to Gaming Off the Grid. Boom shakalaka!
This episode of Gaming Off the Grid is brought to you by Hams, from the land of the sky blue waters.
Oh yeah.
Dude, if we ever get sponsored by Hams, we be cheap.
Yeah.
We could be your poster boys.
I would fucking love that.
Yeah, we probably even move to Minnesota.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
It's Bad Beer Month here on Gaming Off the Grid, and you are in the heart of round 2 of Launch Title Madness. We got some pretty crazy matchups, but I would say not as epic of games as the last episode was. God, that was a freaking grind. It was a grind.
It is crazy, though, that there is only one Nintendo entry in this entire episode.
Yeah.
Because it's been Nintendo heavy lately.
It has. And, you know, we see the comments. Oh, you guys only pick Nintendo stuff. Well, hey.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles,
Yeah.
okay? Go eat your own cookie.
Yeah, go make your own damn bracket. But anyway, this is how we feel. And we're all about telling people our feelings, and we're going to do that about these games today. But the first matchup is PlayStation 2. All the way. Tekken Tag versus SSX.
Oh, jeez. Let's look at these contenders.
Every time I think of SSX, yeah, I think of my favorite thing to do with a woman. Yeah, and that is go snowboarding. This was the first release under the EA big name. What an amazing launch title for the Sony PlayStation. Left in its wake from the prior round is Resistance Fall of Man. Can SSX slice and dice through the snow and the competition to continue on in launch title madness? Stay tuned.
Tekken Tag Tournament for the PlayStation 2 has been on a long journey in Launch Title Madness. First taking out Zelda Twilight Princess, then Alex the Kid, it's feeling like a king. But can this fighting game that has 7 different game modes, 34 different characters, and the ability to fight with a multi-tap, can it take on SSX? Let's find out.
What are you thinking, Abe Lincoln? I mean, and I said Abe Lincoln, not Abe Lincoln.
Oh, okay, because my real name's Habe.
Yeah. Both great launch titles on the PS2.
These are both great. I feel like these are both games that people still play, even though they're 20 years old.
Yeah.
This is Tekken Tag's 3rd appearance.
Yeah.
It was in the preliminary round, it was in the first round, and now it's in round 2.
I think it's kind of a dark horse. I
It
really
is.
do.
And there's bowling. I know we keep mentioning that, but it's in a fighting game, it offers bowling?
Yeah.
So
Last
cool.
night there were skinheads on my lawn. Little Camper Van Beethoven reference.
love
there
that
for
song.
you weird alternative freaks. Yeah. But anyway, this one for me, I don't know what you're thinking. Once you get to SSX Tricky,
I know exactly where you're going.
that's one of my favorite games. I love that game. That's like my ultimate PS2 tester.
Yeah.
Like, I love that game. But SSX, although it was groundbreaking and it did awesome stuff, and it was a kind of the awakening, if you will, of EA Big, it's not the best in the series.
And it's dated.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's other entries on the PS2 don't feel so as
Dated.
much, right? Then you get to Tekken Tag, which we've been fully transparent on this channel. We are not fighting game fans. We like let each other do moves to each other just to see what moves are cool.
If you saw a couple weeks ago, we live streamed the new Mortal Kombat, and we
it's like just fatality me.
Yeah, just two jabronis fighting.
I just want to see it. We don't know what we're doing, but Tekken Tag, from the Tekken games I've played, I would rather play that than any other Tekken game because of the multiplayer component.
Just the tag-in element.
Yeah, it's really cool and it's really unique. So for my money, I would rather play Tekken Tag than any other Tekken game in the series. And I'm sure there's some hardcore Tekken heads out there. What do you call yourselves, Tekken fans? Tell us in the comment section below.
Tekken heads.
Tekken fans call themselves? I would like to know, because I'm sure they call themselves something like, I'm a Street Fighter boy, or I'm a Tekken head. Something. They all have a name.
I hope it's funny.
But anyway, and if I'm going to play the SSX series, the original's cool, but I'm not going back to that one.
No, it's going to be 3 or tricky. I think this one's easy.
Yeah, I do too.
As much as I love SSX and I love arcade snowboarding.
And I think we both like that genre of arcade sports, whatever, way more than fighting.
Way more than fighting. Way more.
Which I think speaks to how badass Tekken Tag is.
Yeah. Dude, I'm pretty sure there's still tournaments in 2021 on that game.
Oh, I guarantee it, dude. We just had one last weekend. Yeah. Actually, we really did.
So much fun.
That was a joke.
That's actually a dream we had.
It was a joke dream.
But I think Tekken Tag Tournament has to move on to round 3.
I concur. Yeah, I feel good about it.
Oh, that was easy.
Love us some PS2. Now it's time to get our little race on.
That sounds like exciting.
Yeah, you gotta grab your steering wheels, grab your little gear shifters, shift into 3rd or 4th gear, and get ready to throttle down. I'm just trying to say racing stuff. I don't know anything about racing.
And another left turn.
But let's take a look at these contenders.
In the last round, Forza Motorsport 5 took out Ridge Racer for the PlayStation 1. Being the 6th installment in the Forza series, it offers 200 different cars, 17 different circuits with pack-ins, and the graphics are beautiful. But can it hold up to the OG F-Zero on the Super Nintendo? Let's find out.
F-Zero for the Super Nintendo was one of 5 releases when the Super Nintendo hit North America. Nintendo had entered a different dimension, and we're not just talking about Mode 7, oh no. We are talking about futuristic racing, a game that still plays very well to this day. Does F-Zero have what it takes to take on another racing game that came out years after its release? Time will tell.
Now you're racing with power, superpower.
All right, here we are. We're race car drivers now, man. It's we gotta make some choices here.
Jimmy Dean Jr. here, speaking on behalf of my race car. Is that a racer? I think it
That's
is.
a sausage.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure it's also a race. Jimmy Dean, I don't know.
I think it's a sausage.
I love their breakfast sandwiches. It's so good. But F-Zero on the Super Nintendo started an amazing franchise. Futuristic racing. I say franchise even though there hasn't been one lately for a long time.
Yeah, last entry was, and there might have been a handheld one somewhere in there, but for console releases,
Such a sweet game. And then 4 is on the Xbox One. It's not 4K, but it's still beautiful. It's a beautiful HD game. This is tough, dude, because it's 2 different styles of racing.
It is.
And we're more into that arcadey futuristic than we are the realistic. This is really tough.
I just think that the waters and the genre of sim racing, they've gotten so muddied. There's been so many entries. It's kind of turned into that thing of, I just want to play the newest one.
It's like annual releases, kind of.
It kind of happened, and that's why I don't think we see as many of them as, when Need for Speed took off, which has more of an arcade element. But point being, it was just Need for Speed, Need for Speed, Need for Speed. Forza, great Xbox IP, or Microsoft rather, or Xbox, I don't know why I said rather, but there's been so freaking many of them. Once the newest one comes out, a lot of people go back and play the old ones. I don't think so. F-Zero, was on the Super Nintendo, then it migrated to the 64, then the last release, F-Zero GX, and we're talking about home console releases, not handhelds, was on the GameCube, and distinctly different leaps.
All amazing games. Too.
Yeah, and I think there's a cult following there. I'm sure Forza has tons of fans, but for my money, I would much rather play F-Zero than Forza any day of the week. I do like the Forza games.
This is tough because if I'm going to play an F-Zero game, it's probably going to be the one on the GameCube. Because that one's beautiful, and that's probably the best one in the franchise, at least in my opinion. This is so tough because I am not a fan of sim racers, so I'm leaning towards F-Zero.
I think we're there. I think our bias is kind of maybe playing in, but I think it's, if you strip away the age difference or the gap in generations, I think it's a better game. I think it stands out more in its respective generation than Forza.
Yeah, and I feel like once the new Forza comes out, Forza 5 is...
It's like the other ones,
it's going to be like $1.
New. Yeah, I think you're right. Like the new like Horizon games that come out. I just think it... I see Forza a lot in the wild as well. It just seems like it's not quite an annual release, but it just seems like they get recycled so easy and passed on so easy.
We're not saying that it's not a good game. It's a really fun game. It's a beautiful game.
It's gorgeous.
It's such a gorgeous game. But here we go again. Pick a Nintendo.
Yeah, there we go.
But F-Zero, man, it has to move on.
I feel like if we didn't pick this, you got to stay true to what the best games are. I truly feel that way. I mean, sure, you could try being contrarian and be like, well, just because we pick some other Nintendo games means we're going to take a steaming pile of cow dung on F-Zero. I don't know if that's a good idea. I feel strongly that F-Zero is the it reigns supreme here.
Definitely, and these are just our opinions, and nostalgia is a huge part of this. So if you don't agree, okay, let us know.
Yeah, let us know. That's what the comment section's for.
Speaking of letting us know, let's talk about
Hams
from
the land of the sky blue waters.
Oh my god, this is one of my favorite bad beers. This is my go-to beer when I go kayaking, when I go camping. This is just an awesome, refreshing,
it is
light, crisp beer. We have a retro style restaurant in Des Moines called the High Life Lounge. Every time I go there, I get a High Life on draft, and then I get a Hams on draft. Hams on draft.
I mean,
so
I know we're
good.
doing a beer review, but if you guys are ever in the Des Moines, Iowa area, you got to go to the High Life Lounge. Shag carpet,
wood paneling,
old tavern style, bunch of old beer lights, old CRT TVs, and the only beers they have on draft is things brewed prior to '78, I believe. So they have Schlitz on draft, High Life, Old Milwaukee, Hams, that type of stuff.
And it's comfort food.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite places in Des Moines.
I mean, you can order roasted chicken and meatloaf and... Anyway, that's just a little Des Moines plug. You got to check that place out. But I'm with you. Hams has it's not quite as of a unique flavor as, there's a few of the American and Junk lagers that, you can pick out instantly.
PBR.
That's one. I always think Grain Belt. I can pick Grain Belt.
It's like rusty corn.
Yeah. Yeah. But this does have a very distinct flavor. This is definitely way different than High Life or, PBR.
It's just an easy drink.
It is. It's great. We've had tons of Hams in our day. We don't anymore, but we used to drink at band practice, and we would always get whatever we could get super cheap, because we just, have 3 or 4 beers and play guitar, write some songs. Hams has been a staple for us, so it's kind of fun to talk about it on the channel.
Yeah, I think we might have talked about this early on. I think we might have done this when we did our basketball episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Hooping on. I don't remember.
Yeah.
It could have been High Life.
Yeah.
But I love Hams so much. I love eating the meat ham. I love everything about it. I love ham from Toy Story. Hams, such a good beer.
I think, the main theme with a lot of these bad beers, that we're going to be covering in July is the operative word bad is maybe not the best choice, but I think it's perceived as these are cheap, bad, budget beers.
Yep.
And there's a lot of shit out there, but this is quality. This is good.
Yeah.
It's not up there with craft beer, but, if someone's out there and you're wanting to, try different stuff and you're kind of a Bud Light or a Coors Light person, you're going to get so much more flavor out of something like this.
I would much rather drink any of the bad beers we are covering this month than those generic Bud Light, Coors Light.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I have
There's
drank
a time
those.
and a place, yeah.
If it's free, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
But, man, if Hams is available, that's what I'm grabbing.
Little glass of Americana from the land of the sky blue waters. Cheers.
Beautiful.
To Hams. If you got it in your area, just have some. You'll enjoy it. It's good stuff. That is a wrap, though, on this episode of Round 2 of Launch Title Madness. I think this is episode 12.
Episode 12. The next episode is episode 13. And that is the final episode of Round 2. And then we're into Round 3, which is just going to get even more chaotic. But in the final episode of Round 2, we have Marvel Ultimate Alliance against Zombie U. And then we see Soul Calibur go against Super Mario 64, my favorite Mario game of all time. That's going to be tough.
You're a liar face, dude. But it is going to be a tough one. And then round 3 is just going to get insane. But we're having a lot of fun with this series. We hope you guys are as well. If you want to talk about things, hit up the comment section below.
Stir it.
Make sure you ring the bell icon so you get notifications for every episode. We're here twice a week. Mondays at 9 a.m., Thursdays at 9 a.m., and we stream on Sundays.
Yep, that's 3 times a week, guys. That's so much content.
It is. Free content. And all we ask is for you to freaking be nice to each other and nice to us sometimes. That's all we ask.
Only sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you can, if we need smacked around, smack us around. But be pleasant about it. You know, you guys listen to the Boner Dog of the Month stuff. You guys know the type of people that get us just all revved up.
Ooh, like a race car.
Anyway, we appreciate you hanging out for this episode of Launch Title Madness. Get out there if you drink. Because we get plenty of people that say, I love your channel, but since you drink that, I can't watch it.
That's all right.
It's all right. Don't drink. But if you do drink, go get some hams.
Yeah, you won't regret it.
And if you don't drink, eat a ham sandwich. We'll see you next time, right here on Gaming Off the Grid. Act like you're peeing after sex and
Pushing it down.
and push that boner down. This episode is brought to you by Hams from the land of the Scott. Ass-kicking action in SSX. Always makes me think of sex for some reason, because I like snow, yeah. And then we also see the Super Nintendo futuristic